On the edge of this once sleepy coastal town in Cambodia, a concrete fortress looms, tainted by allegations of fraud and exploitation.
We're in the car right now because it's not especially safe to be out.
This isn't just a getaway. This is a key gateway to global crime.
A number of grim reports have surfaced of the proliferation of scam compounds in the region. These are places where trafficked people are forced to scam people out of money in different jurisdictions around the world. What hadn't been explored was what infrastructure existed to allow for it. And I increasingly found that fingers were being pointed basically in one direction. You see a Huiwan Pay shop there?
It's called Huiwan, and government authorities say it's a one-stop shop for criminals.
The Treasury Department has moved to classify Huiwan as engaged in money laundering.
Huiwan is facilitating by far the largest dark marketplace that's ever existed.
It's really the Amazon for criminals.
It just blew my mind. Wow, this is another world.
The most brutal aspects of cybercrime are no longer just the work of disparate individuals. They're now connected by a streamlined industrial system using apps available to anyone. And according to authorities, one company sits at the center of it all.
So when I came here last, there was a big Huiwan sign that has been taken down. There's no clear markings of what it even is now.
This is one of the headquarters for the Huiwan Group, a large Cambodian conglomerate offering financial services that, at least on the surface, appear clean.
Under the Huiwan Group umbrella, the first is Huiwan Pay, which is a payment services arm of the conglomerate. And in many ways, this is a very legitimate business. When you go to a Cambodian restaurant or a hotel or a convenience store, you'll find a QR code, often with the Huiwan logo. You can use your phone and an app to pay for a product with that QR code. And that is the public front of that subsidiary.
But the US government alleges that behind the scenes of Huiwan Pay is a cell called Huiwan International Pay, which they claim is involved in money laundering.
The script is somewhat familiar for how this all plays out. Let's say you're sitting in the US. You receive a random WhatsApp message from someone claiming that they want to get to know you, a fake romance. Once that scammer has taken funds from that victim, according to those that we've spoken to within Huiwan Pay, a scammer and a money mule will be matched together by somebody actually referred to as a matchmaker. So that money is then moved by a money mule into another account, and then offshore, and then into cryptocurrency. And once that entire chain has been completed, Huiwan will come in and take a commission for bringing the scammer and money mule together. The second arm of the Huiwan Group that's implicated with illicit activity is called Huiwan Guarantee. It is an online marketplace hosted on Telegram, the instant messaging app, in which buyers and sellers can meet and purchase, in many cases, illegal items.
Huiwan Guarantee sells everything that an online scammer needs to target and extract money from its victims all over the world. So that ranges from stolen personal data all the way through to receiving and laundering payments from victims.
What Huiwan has said in its defense is that all it does is serve as a guarantor, and that it can't moderate every single ad that's posted on Telegram within its channels.
Officials who've tracked the platform say with everything in the one place, scams can operate more efficiently and expand exponentially.
These marketplaces are vast. They can have thousands of merchants and hundreds of thousands of users overall.
The volume dwarfs anything that's existed at any other point in time.
All that first generation of darknet market, Silk Road, Alphabay, in total they did about $11 billion worth of transactions, whereas Huiwan Guarantee on its own did $28 billion. It's just absolutely enormous in terms of scale.
But proving Huiwan facilitates illegal activity is not as easy as it appears. Although registered as a privately owned business in Hong Kong, very little is known about its finances.
This is a company that doesn't want to be understood. It doesn't want to maintain a public persona, and it wants to be a bit of a black box.
But internal accounting documents seen by Bloomberg reveal how Huiwon International Pay kept meticulous records suggesting its employees may have actively brokered illegal deals.
Within the documents, there are cells devoted to each victim. It will have the amount of money that was taken from the victim. It will have the bank where money was wired to. So what we've been able to do with these documents is create a direct line from Huiwon to the victims who have fallen prey to scams, and also to the money mules who have been directly involved in moving those funds out of the US and converting them into crypto.
Huiwon operates in public Telegram groups similar to chat rooms, where thousands openly buy, sell, and trade illicit goods and services, concealed only by the unique use of slang.
So there's a lot of activity here, lots of advertisements for different kinds of scams. So here you have one advertisement saying 直盘色料量大管饱来各种丝滑卡街马街. This is not how normal people would talk in Chinese. So here they're using the term 搬砖. That literally means moving bricks. You have 狗推, which literally means dog pushers. 精疗 refers to in-depth relationship building with the victim. In the Western media, people call it pig butchering. A person who doesn't understand anything about this industry would look at this and think it's all gibberish.
This sprawling ecosystem for criminal activity has come a long way since the early 2010s, when one young Vietnamese hacker gained access into the database of almost 200 million American identities.
I was making like 3 million USD by selling full information and US identities.
In Ngo's criminal past, he had to create his own website to advertise and sell the data he'd stolen and launder the profits himself. The framework Huiwon has created facilitates all of this.
Anybody nowadays can be a cyber criminal. It's a lot easier than before. This is one of these new Huiwon groups. And this group have 4,500 members. It's very simple. You just send a join request and immediately you got into the groups. And this group is related to money laundering, from 10 million to like at least 300,000 USDT. It's kind of like eBay or Amazon, like data, bank account, social media account. You can search in anything.
Investigators say there's a reason why the group chats are written in Chinese. Much of the criminal activity in these Telegram chats can be tied to China.
When you drive through Cambodia, you'll notice something almost immediately, which is that China has a large development presence in the country. So on the roads, many of the infrastructure projects will often be sponsored by Chinese companies, and China has become a very important political and financial backer to Cambodia's development. But that's really one piece of the answer for why China has such a stake in Cambodia. The cybercrime industry in Southeast Asia, these scam compounds, for example, are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they're often underwritten by Chinese mafia members.
That direct relationship has been key to Huiwon's rapid growth, according to one UN report. It also says Cambodia is a major driver behind Southeast Asia's transformation into the world's fastest growing cyber fraud hub.
We're about to enter a part of the city called Chinatown, which is a pretty sketchy part of Sihanoukville. There are Chinese-run casinos here, a lot of security in and out of these compounds.
Human rights groups say thousands of trafficked people have been imprisoned on the floors above the casinos, held against their will to keep the scam operations running.
Here we have some of the electric batons, electric shackles that we saw for sale on Huiwon Guarantee. The advert mentions that these are for use on what they call runaway dogs, which is jargon for individuals that have escaped from scam compounds.
As a blockchain analytics firm, Elliptic could track the spoils from scams as they were converted into cryptocurrency, a trail that sparked a 2-year investigation.
This is probably one of the most complex pieces of research we've ever had to undertake. We came to the conclusion that the vast majority of transactions on this marketplace were illicit in nature.
We are going to Bartycka Street. We are looking for a company called Huion Crypto.
In 2023, to circumvent Cambodia's complex crypto laws, people familiar with Huion's operations say it established its very own cryptocurrency exchange known as Huion Crypto. Not in Cambodia or China, but in Poland.
Czy to adres spółki Huione, spółka ZO? Huione Crypto? Halo? I introduced myself. I said I'm a journalist. He said, this is a virtual office. Goodbye. And just hanged up. I found tens, hundreds of companies with the same address. This is not illegal. So it's just a company renting a virtual address to pretend they operate here.
While virtual addresses like these are commonplace in legitimate business, gaps and inconsistencies in crypto regulation can also be exploited by criminals wanting to move money without detection. With other business branches in Singapore, Canada, and the US, Huion's tendrils stretch across the world.
This here is Panda Bank on the left-hand side.
Investigating Huion further has only uncovered more mysteries.
Huion has directors that also work as directors for other powerful conglomerates and banks in Cambodia.
Hun To, a director of Huion Pay, is the cousin of Cambodia's prime minister. He's also a former director of Panda Bank, a major commercial financial institution in Cambodia. And another director of that bank is He Yen-ming, the listed owner of Huion Crypto.
This is potentially the tip of the iceberg. It raises this broader issue of, is Huion acting alone? How deep does this really go? And that's a question we don't know how to answer yet.
According to Elliptic's research, the Huion Group entities, which include Huion Pay, Huion Crypto, and Huion Guarantee, have received over $91 billion in crypto assets in the last 5 years alone. Since Elliptic published their research in July 2024, steps have been taken to put pressure on Huion.
Telegram has taken action and has shut down most of the channels used by Huion Guarantee. Tether's USDT stablecoin is accepted on Huion Guarantee. We have seen Tether freeze wallets, both on the instruction of law enforcement, but also based on their own investigations.
The other more significant step from international agencies was taken by the US. The Treasury Department has moved to classify Huion as a foreign entity engaged in money laundering and effectively blacklist it from US markets.
In this underworld, though, survival is built into the system. Moderators from old Telegram groups have directed business to other marketplaces, including one Huion owns a direct stake in. Huion has also developed its own stablecoin known as USDH, which will evade anyone trying to freeze their wallets. And as of June 2025, Huion Crypto appears to have rebranded itself as KEX. According to Chainalysis, Huion's transaction volumes remain as high as ever, and a number of reports suggest its operations continue largely uninterrupted.
It's basically a game of whack-a-mole. For every Huion that's taken down, another one sprouts up. And the scariest part of all of this is that this isn't some dark corner of the internet where you have to be in the know to access it. This is something that anyone can participate in. This is all in the open.